Very good afternoon to all the participants and our esteemed speaker, Dr. Jayaprakash sir. I'm very happy to introduce the speaker. Before introducing the speaker, I'd like to tell all the participants that if anybody would like to ask the questions, you can just type the questions in the chat box, which will be answered at the end of the session by the esteemed speaker. Thank you. I'm very happy to introduce Dr. Jayaprakash sir, who has completed his post-graduation in sports from Dr. MGR Medical University, Chennai. He was working as a senior lecturer in physiotherapy at Government Physiotherapy College and Spine Institute, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He has been working in this field since 25 years in various universities. He is also the former principal of Government Physiotherapy College, Dahod. He has written an open book source ebook on fitness and wellness. He has several publications to his research. He has also worked as an academic council member in Govind Guru University. Apart from that, he has got various training programs under his name. Few of them are: he has underwent a course on Introduction to Systematic Reviews for Dental Health Professionals, conducted by SWAM AACTE, and also the course on Cochrane Systemic Review and Meta-Analysis. And his expertise is in the SPSS statistics package, and has been trained for the BLS at Civil Hospital Ahmedabad, and he is undergoing various research projects under his name. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of Sri B.J. Patel College of Physiotherapy to have a talk on sports psychology. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Balaganapati sir, for your thoughtful introduction. Thanks to Dr. Balaganapati, the principal of B.J. Patel College of Physiotherapy. And thanks all participants for joining. Without wasting time, let us begin with the class. I think I'm getting echo. Anybody's getting echo? No? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Shall I disconnect and reconnect it again? Some students are saying that it's not audible.
You can share it.
Yeah.
You can share the screen, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Visible.
Yeah. Visible, no? So let us understand about sports psychology. Bala, I'm getting a huge disturbance here. Is the field of psychology that focuses on mental and emotional aspect of athletic competitions. Bala, I'm getting a little disturbance, Bala. Sports psychology is a specialized field actually that focuses on the mental and emotional aspect of athletic performance, physical activity, and sports participations. And if you see, Bala, continuously I'm getting basically. That is what already mentioned, that is a specialized area, which is including cognitive function of athletic population and the physical fitness level and the capability, everything incorporated. And whether the psychological part plays a significant role in the athletic population or not, that is a big question. Some of our students must have come across my previous classes. As per Metron's classical experiment shows that there is no significant difference in attention development of the muscles, those are voluntarily contracted, as well as the muscles fatigued with the help of electrical stimulation. That shows that the central control mechanism of fatigue, which is not lying in the mental setup, which again there is contradicted by ICOI and the other colleagues, co-workers. They have proven that the simple shout during a performance that can improvise the performance, like a simple shout during the throw or javelins or whatever it may be, it's fine. They tend to improve the performance of the athletic population. That is what they have identified. And actually, this is a debatable title, whether the motivational factors influencing the performance or not. But still, just we cannot leave the research part of multiple, both the groups or multiple other researchers also, they have proven that some peoples, they say, like there is having a significant role of motivation and arousal playing or determining the outcome of the athletic population. That is what today we are going to discuss. For the better understanding, I have divided the complete sports psychology into a 6 module. The first one is the introductory part. The second is motivation and goal setting. The third one is the stress, anxiety, and performance. The fourth one, team dynamics, leadership, psychological skill training. And the last one, that special concerns about sports psychology. So it's for the easy understanding, if we have divided, and one by one, each module we are going to discuss. So let us see the definition. What is the classical definition of a sports psychology is that sports psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on how psychological factors influencing the sports performance as well as physical activity and the behavior of the athlete. This is mentioned by many of our researchers. The key aspect of the psychology, if you say sports psychology, it is having 3 important components. One is the behavioral factors. Second is the cognitive factors. The third one is the emotional factors. The behavioral factors, if you say, understanding how the athletic behavior, their routine and the habit impact the performance. Second is the cognitive functions. The cognitive factors like analyzing the thought process such as focus, decision making, and then problem solving skill of the individuals. The next one would be of emotional factors. Emotional factors like managing emotions like anxiety, stress, and motivations in competitive as well as recreational setups or settings. So these 3 factors contributing and determining the output of the particular athlete. Definitely, we cannot omit it. Before this, if you see the history of sports psychology, it has come across a very huge, lengthy history actually. It is not one day miracle has not happened. During the late 90s and the early 20th century, the Norman triplet in 1898, precisely if you say, is conducted, experimented in sports psychology. And after that, Goldman Griffith is called as the father of sports psychology. During 1925, he established the first sports psychology laboratory. During 1950s and 70s, post-World War II, sports psychology grew as a profession actually. During 1965, 2 important events had been taken place. First is that the International Society of Sports Psychology has been formulated. And then first academic program also started in the same year. And during 2000, sports psychology included in a profession and professionally it is included in Olympic sports. So this was the pathway of sports psychology in a brief manner. I very concisely have narrated the histories here. And then the role of a sports psychologist, if you precisely talk about a sports psychologist, is a different professional or entity. There is a key important roles we have highlighted here. The number one, the first role would be of they are helping the athletes. They are helping the athletes to cope up with the performance as well as the fear, like assisting the athletes in overcoming anxiety-related fear of failure. Second would be of they are helping the athlete to improve the mental skills for their performances. And third one would be of they are mentally preparing the athlete for the competitions. The fourth one would be they are helping the athlete to return or come back to after the injury. The fifth one, they develop the program for the tailor-made program for each and every athletes. The last one would be they improve the practical efficiency. They identifying the potential weakest area of the athletic performance or athletes, and accordingly they make a tailor-made protocol for the particular sessions. Then application areas, if you see, there are three important domains the sports psychology has been used or applied. One is that professional sports, second is recreational setups, and third one in a rehabilitation setups. The three important domains sports psychology has been deployed. Now, see, we are coming into the module. First module introduction we have completed. The second module would be of a goal setting, motivation as well as goal setting. So again, the motivation, if you see the motivational factors, like we have two sub-component of a motivational factors. The type of motivation, what type of motivation the athletic population they are having, whether it is intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. And we'll have to go for goal setting, and we are going to learn about techniques to boost motivations, and the practical applications of all the above three components we are going to learn in this module. First is that two different type of motivation. One is the intrinsic motivation. The second one would be of extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation, it is motivation derived by the internal factors, like we can say such as enjoyment, personal satisfaction, love towards the sports, particular sports. Somebody would be loving the game actually. Example, if you say a runner training because they enjoy the challenge, the cyclist cycling because daily is cycling 20 kilometers because they enjoy the activity. Okay, so this is what the intrinsic motivation. Internally something is stimulating, they perform. Another example, if you say an athlete competing to improve the personal records, the particular characteristics of internal motivations, if you see, which is long lasting. If I'm having internally, if I'm having a desire to do activity throughout the session, throughout my life, I may do it. That is what long lasting and self-sustained leads to deeper engagement and better performance. So internal motivation always will be preferable in comparison with the extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation, other side, if you see, motivation driven by external rewards or the pressure, such as medals, scholarship, or recognition, etc. Examples, if you say playing to win trophy or earning the sponsorships. So this is what comes under extrinsic motivation. Otherwise, other example, if you say competing to avoid criticism or meet social expectations. The particular characteristics of extrinsic motivation, if you see, they are very short term in nature. Whatever the gains are there, that will be lasting for a short period. Can sometimes undermine the output of extrinsic motivations. Now, theories of motivation. There are two important theories of motivation. One is the self-determination theory. Second is achievement goal theory. Look at this picture. It describes the self-determination theory. The name itself, it says a self-determination. I am determined to do some work, committed to do work. Okay, this is proposed by Deci and Ryan, which they have developed this hypothesis. It is stating that motivation lies on a spectrum. Actually, it's a wide spectrum from intrinsic to extrinsic. So that means that we should have an intrinsic motivation. At the same time, the athlete should have an extrinsic motivation also. There are three fundamental psychological needs which drive the motivation here. One is autonomy. Okay, autonomy is the feeling in control with one's action. And the second factor is competency. I am competent to do some work. I'm competent to play the game. That is feeling capable and skilled. So first is autonomy. This one is autonomy. Second is competency. The third one is a relatedness. All the three are intersecting at certain point. This is what called as a self-determinations. So if a person is having self-determination, the output will increase. Okay, this is what this theory stating. Second is that achievement goal theory. Achievement goal theory focusing on how individuals are defining the success in sports. If you say there are two type of aspect we can able to see here. Either it may be of a task-oriented or it may be ego-centered. Task-oriented is that mastery. I am mastered in some skills, okay, so that I can able to perform very well. And other side, ego-centric. If I am mastered, if you see the first one, The success is based on the personal improvement as well as the effort. Consistently, I am performing. I am mastering the skills, so I can able to perform well. This is what task oriented. Towards the particular task I am working. Second is that egocentric. Egocentric is the performance based one. I am working in order to overcome somebody else. My competitor who is running in 10 seconds, the 100-meter. So I am planning to overcome the challenge. So this is what called as egocentric. I wanted to perform better than the other person. So there is a two type of theories are there. Second theory is that achievement goal theory. Achievement goal theory, which is having a two component, master centric and performance centric. Next, we are coming into the second model, goal setting. We will have to set up the goal. The goals has to be set up is called as a smart goal setting. Smart goal setting, if a smart goal framework, it stands for, S stands for specific and M stands for measurable. Then after that, achievable, relevant and timely manner. So the specific, the protocol, if you see the specificity, the goal should be clear and that should be well defined. For example, if you say, instead of saying I will get fit and I will say that I will run. Instead of I will get fit, I will say that I will run. This is what specifically I am working on that. Second is the task has to be measurable. We'll have to measure, we'll have to quantify it. Goal should have a measurable outcome. If you say that example, instead of saying more often, we can say twice a week. We can say twice a week. Very precisely, I'm saying that twice a week, I will be doing this activity. The third one is that achievable. The goal should be achievable. Instead of setting a very huge target, I am cut shortening the target. In this picture, you can see, instead of running 20 miles every day, I'll say that I'll begin with the lower quantities. Okay, so I'll run for either 5 miles or 2 miles, like that. So I'm achievable target, I'm fixing it, I'm running it. So then gradually we can increase the target. The fourth one would be of relevancy. Okay, so whatever the relevant activities has to be, given to the athletic population. For example, a football player focusing on agility drills than swimming skills. Okay, so this what that should be relevant. That activity should be relevant. The last one would be of a timely bound activities. Okay, so we will have to fix a target that within that particular stipulated period, I am going to complete it. Example, achieving the goal within 6 months, achieving the goals within 3 months. So timely, time bound manner, we will have to fix it. This is what setting says. Now coming into type of goals. If you set up the goals, we have to classify the goals into 3 differential zones. One is the processed goal. Second is the performance based goals. The third one is that outcome based goal. What is process goal? Process goal is that it is in a routine process that comes. For example, if I'm a football player, daily I will be playing. This is the routine process. If I'm a runner, daily I'll be running. This is my routine process. Okay, this is what process goals. How much time I'll play football? A single match or double match? I'll have to determine it. This is what process goals is. Second is the performance goals. If you say that the performance has to be boosted. For that we are working. Focus is on measurable outcome that are independent of a competition. This is what performance based goals says that. Example, improving the sprinting or running time from 12 seconds to 11.5 seconds. This is the performance based goal setting. The last one, the third one would be of a outcome based goal setting. Outcome based setting would be of a, I am fixing the target that I will win gold medal. I will win silver medal. So I'm getting a target. Particular target, I'm fixing it, I'm working for. There is outcome based goal. So the goal setting will be there for any activities. If I am a runner, I will have to set up the goal for the particular relevant activity. As per my capability, I will have to set up the goal. So if I'm a footballer, if I'm some other basketball player, accordingly we will have to set up the goal for different games as well as different players to achieve the appropriate goals. Next one is that the technique to boost motivations. Definitely the athletic populations has to be motivated well. In a 3 differential zones, we could able to motivate the athletic populations. One is that reward as well as incentive. Second is the feedback mechanism. The third one would be of a visualization as well as
Yes.
So reward and incentives. First one is the reward and incentive. Second is a feedback mechanism. Third one is the visualization and imagery technique. The appropriate visualization and imagery techniques really works a lot with the athletic population. The athlete mentally rehearsing the successful performance or imagining the successful performance in their mind and challenging scenarios repeatedly, they will be recalling it and they'll perform accordingly, so that they'll be get motivated, as well as they'll get trained mentally how to handle the difficult situation. If somebody is shouting in the ground and the audience, of course we can expect that. So if that is the case, how to handle the pressurized situation mentally, he will have to imagine and he will have to simulate it and he will have to respond it. So visualization and imagery techniques are very vast actually. If time permits, in other occasions we may go with the other webinar. So this is what the three important technique to boost motivation. Now coming into practical implications. So whatever the three components we have learned, the three components can be applied into any of the athletic populations what we handle during our day. For example, if you say that the setting a smart goals for a runner, the 100-meter sprinter, so it must have a three important component. You should have a processed goal, you should have a performance-based goal and outcome-based goal. Okay, so whatever may be the activity, the sporting activity, we will have to set up a three goals for process goal, performance-based goal, as well as outcome-based goal. Okay, so this is a small homework for you. You imagine any one of the game or athletic activities, and accordingly you can set up the goals for the particular games. Next, we are moving into the third module. This is stress, anxiety, and performance. This module focusing on understanding stress as well as anxiety in sports. Definitely, if a athletic population encounters a lot of stress as well as anxiety internally as well as externally, how to cope up with that? There's again a task for the trainer as well as a psychologist. So understanding of the stress and anxiety is very important. Then if you see, there are three type of stress commonly we can able to, the athletic population can able to encounter, they can able to see in the game zone. One is that competitive stress. Second is that the training related stress. The third one is that chronic stress. Okay. So competitive stress, what is competitive stress? Stress experienced during preparations as well as a participating environment. During competitions, whatever the stress they are feeling. Pressure to hit 6, pressure to hit 4, pressure to reach the target. All this comes under competitive stress. Definitely any athletic population, any sporting individuals must have come across this. The triggering factors here is that the fear of failure. Whether I could not able to do it, such a fear comes, a fear of failure would be of a triggering factor, and high expectations towards the player from the coaches as well as the spectators. All these are stressing the player to get a competitive stress. Second is that the training related stress. If you see a training related stress, stress arising from rigorous training because of excessive the training. Just a minute. Extensive training that may leads to stress also, because we used to call it as an overtraining. Okay, triggering factor, if you see overtraining or inadequate recovery, the athlete must have injured and insufficient respiratory would have given, that may leads to training related stress. The triggering factor, if you see, it may be of a overtraining, that classically we can say, or any injury, previous injury also triggering factor here. Chronic stress, if you say that continuously for the longer durations, the athletic population may encounter the pressure. That is, it could be of a long-term stress that is called as chronic stress. The triggering factor here, the poor performance streaks. Continuously, you will not perform well. You must have seen some of the cricketers in most of the events consecutively, they may not play well. This is what we used to call poor performance streaks that may mentally disappoint the player, first of all. And second thing is that balancing sports with their academics or sports with their work or sports with their personal life. If they are not balancing properly, that may leads to chronic stress. So three different type of stress any athletic population encounters. One is a competitive stress. Second is the training related stress, and third one is the chronic stress. Now coming into anxiety, there are two theories of anxiety. Anxiety basically it is affecting the athletic performance via within various ways. Like it could be of various intensities they may get. The athletic population may encounter various intensities of the stress as well as anxiety. There are two postulated theories here. One is inverted U hypothesis, and second one is the catastrophic theory. The invented U hypothesis, what it says, if you look at here, the arousal, anyway, the arousal plays a significant role for the performance here. Okay, if arousal is good, definitely we can able to perform very well. If I'm desired to work, definitely I can able to perform well. But at the same time, the level of the arousal, it should be optimal. Okay, the level of the arousal should be optimal to achieve a appropriate performance here. If the arousal is very much lower, or if the arousal is very much higher, definitely which is having a negative effect. So the optimal arousal, which is very much important to achieve a optimal performance level. This is what inverted U hypothesis says. Okay. Next is that a catastrophic theory. What catastrophic theory says that the performance declines sharply when the anxiety exceeds the critical threshold. Look at here. This is the maximum performance for a particular athlete. Okay. So if anxiety level, if it is exceeding than the critical level, then abruptly which is dropping it down. Okay, so this is what catastrophic failures we can say. Abruptly, the athletic population, the sporting personality will not perform well. Consecutively, will not perform well because his anxiety is increased drastically. Okay, so basically, if you look at the highlights that interplay between cognitive anxiety as well as the physiological arousal, I am having physiologically motivated, very well motivated physiologically. Okay, physiologically, I am having good arousal. Okay, and that may leads to cognitive anxiety, but that may deteriorates the performance. Okay, so again, the catastrophic theory is also at the same time it says that the sporting persons has to have the optimal level of the motivations and arousal, and accordingly he can able to perform in a better manner. Now coming into the mental technique to manage stress as well as anxiety. If athletic population encountering stress as well as anxiety, definitely we will have to manage it, isn't it? So the three differential techniques are there to manage it. One is relaxation technique, which is not new for us. Gentle breathing exercises and gentle relaxation techniques, whatever we are using in a normal day-to-day physical therapy activities, that we can use it. And a cognitive behavioral approach, CBT, also can be recommended here, and biofeedback training we will be giving. One is the relaxation technique. I already mentioned that the progressive muscle relaxation technique, all PG's students would be knowing this. Okay, gradually we'll have to contract as well as relax. Definitely, the athlete can able to perform very well, and he can able to relax, and followed by the deep breathing exercise. The deep breathing exercise, how to perform 4-7-8 manner. Okay, that means that 4-second inhalation and 7-second hold time and 8-second exhalation. Okay, so 4-7-8 combination we will have to go for a deep breathing exercise. Next is that cognitive behavioral approach. It is having a three sub-component. One is the thought stopping, second is the reframing, and positive self-talk. Okay, the thought stopping, if you say that interrupting the anxious through the mental stop signal. Okay, so something is anxious, something is causing anxiety in your mind, we will have to stop that process, thought stopping. And reframing, changing the perspective of a stress. Okay, whatever the stress comes and how you're handling the stress, we will have to change the thought process here. We'll have to reframe it. For example, viewing the competition as a challenge rather than the threat. Okay, take it as a challenge, just to handle it. Rather, don't get frightened for that, and don't get walk out of that. Okay, so reframing. And the third one would be of a positive self-talk, just to believe that you can able to do it. You all this will have to insist the athlete to practice it. Okay, replacing I can't do this with I have trained to do this. Definitely, the particular game is not new for the particular the athlete. Definitely, can able to do it. That we will have to insist him to follow it. The third one is that the biofeedback training. Again, this is also not new for us. We have a set of biofeedback equipments and training equipments modules that we can use it over here. Okay, so it helps the athlete to recognize is the area, particular simulators we can use it, so you can understand what is his strength, what is his weaknesses. Okay, in a three differential manner, we can able to wean out of anxiety. Now coming into the important characteristics of a mentally tough athletes. If you say that the particular person is mentally tough, what are the particular characteristics he must be having? One is self-belief. He will be believing himself. Second is he'll be much focused on the particular activity or the workouts. And he'll be having a very stable emotional control. And the fourth one would be of adaptability. You can consider our the former cricket captain, MSD, how in a pressure situations he must have handled the circumstances. He'll be believing himself and always will be focusing towards the victory, and he is having a very good the high level of emotional controls. Either it may be happiness, extreme happiness he never shown, and even sadness also he never exhibited anywhere. And adaptability. Okay, we'll have to adapt, right? So these are the particular features of the important features of a mentally tough athlete. Now coming into the strategies to build resilience. What are the strategies we can build a resilience is that gradual exposure to the stress, how to overcome this problem. I mean to say this, gradual exposure to stress. We love to simulate high pressure situations in a training to prepare the real competitions. Like we can say that practicing penalty shot with a countdown timer as well as a crowded noise, so that he'll be habituated for that. You know, if he's going for a penalty shots, penalty corners, if he is taking, you must be knowing how much pressure in the football ground the player would be encountering it, isn't it? So you will have to prepare for that. You will have to simulate it. We'll have to simulate. You'll have to create an environment so that he can able to work in a better manner in a real situations. Second is developing a growth mindset. Okay, so what is that? Encourage the athletes to view setbacks as opportunities. If there is any setbacks, we'll have to see it as an opportunity, as a next stone, just a progressive stones. Whatever the mistake he has made, it is going to correct it. Okay, so there is a developing milestones we'll have to consider it. The next one would be of a social support system. Social support system, building a network of a supportive coaches, teammates, as well as the family members. Everybody should support the player. The fourth one would be of a goal setting as well as visualization. Again, I'm repeating mental imagery technique here. He will have to visualize the victory. How he is going to see the victory, how he is going to perform in the particular moment, which is going to yield a victory. Okay, so that is what the target goals we will have to fix it, and he will have to visualize the victory, right? So in the four differential manner, we can able to formulate a strategy to build a resilience. The fourth module is the team dynamics. This module delves into the psychological as well as the sociological aspect of a teamwork as well as leadership in sports. It provides a clear understanding of a group behavior, leadership styles, team cohesion, as well as conflict resolution strategies. Four components are there in team dynamics. One is a group dynamics in sports, and second is leadership styles, and third one is building a cohesion in teams. The fourth one, conflicts resolutions. The first one, group dynamics or the team dynamics, we can say. We will have to understand the roles and responsibilities of each members. Okay, so if I'm in a volleyball, in a football, if I'm playing in the defense, so I will have to know the limit where I will have to stand, and beyond that point, I should not move. If a ball is rolling, I should not take the ball till the next opposite goalie or the target. That is the work of some other players. So you must understand the role. Okay, that is what we are classifying here, the formal roles as well as informal roles. Formal roles, if you say that defined by team, such as a captain, he is a captain. And what is his role? Captain says, instruct the players how to, the strategy you will be forming. And coach, again, the coach will be forming the strategy. And as well as the strikers would be having a set of the roles. He will have to strike it. Okay, so informal roles, if you say, there is an emergent role such as a motivator or pacemakers. In pressure situations, how to handle the team. In pressure situation, what are the decisions has to be made? This is informal roles. In particular situation, who will be instructing in a pressurized situation? So roles we will have to formulate it, and the responsibilities we will have to make it clear. Athlete must fulfill both the role-specific duties as well as contribute to overall team goals. So in order to win the situations, one is group dynamics. Second is let us understand few theories of group dynamics here. Tuckman's 5 stages of a team development. Okay, so if I'm going for a particular game, and the first has to will have to formulate the team. Okay, there is what a forming stage. There is a 5 stages. Let me read the first 5 stages, and after that I'll explain. One is forming, second is storming, the third is norming, fourth is performing, fifth is adjourning. Forming is the basic component of formulation of any team. Team member meet, they will, the roles and all is very much unclear. The new team has been formulated. IPL team you can consider. Okay, so bidding and selecting the player. Okay, so roles is very unclear now. Trust is very low. Example, a newly formed cricket team gathering for first practice. Second is storming. Storming is that a conflict arises as the member asserts their ideas. Okay, each and every member tell their idea. So brainstorming sessions would be there. Okay, they may not happy with others' decision. There is a storming. The third one is that the norming. Norming stage, all the conflicts are resolved here. The cohesion begins to develop. Mutually, they are understanding their everybody team members and their motivation goals and all. And there is a norming will be taking place. The fourth one would be of a performing. Okay, performing, the team functions optimally, focusing on shared goals. Whatever the goals are now allocated very properly, clearly. A synchronized basketball team executing play flawlessly in performing. Okay, so everybody will be knowing the limits, roles, and accordingly they will be executing. Adjourning or mourning, which is the last stage of a team. That means that dispersing after the successful event, they will disperse. Okay, the team disbands after achieving its goal. Example, a Olympic team parting away post tournament. Okay, so this is what the Tuckman's 5 stages of a team development. Second, the type of leadership. The leader should be there, isn't it? Captain, otherwise we can consider here. It could be of the 3 type of leadership styles are here. One is autocratic leadership, democratic leadership, and laissez-faire leadership. These are 3 important type of a leadership. Hope the students, you must have come across a different type of leaders in your day-to-day life. Let us understand about autocratic leadership. Leader makes a decision unilaterally and expect compliances. Pros, it is having some merits as well as a demerit also. The pros, if you see, which is effective in handling the high pressurized situations. The cons, if you see, it can stifle creativity, and it will stifle the creativity as well as it may leads to resentments. Okay, so it may not work properly. Democratic leadership, if you say that the leader involves the team members to take it, involves in the team decision making, they will take opinion of our team members and they will come into a decision. Pros, if you see, it is a foster trusting and creativity and sense of ownership would be there. Cons, which is a time consuming and less effective in emergency circumstances. Okay. Example, if you say the team captain discussing tactics with the player before the match. Laissez-faire leadership is that the leader provide a minimal directions, very minimal direction. He'll be literally leisuring, but the rest of the work will be carried by the team members. Okay, so it's a less responsible. Otherwise, we can say the pros. If you say the team member encouraged to independently work and their innovative ideas they can able to launch, but the demerit, it can leads to disorganization, disorientation, and lack of accountability. Okay. A coach, example, if you say that a coach is stepping back to experience a player lead to the match during training. Next is leadership theories. There are 2 theories of leadership. One is the path goal theory. Second is a multidimensional model theory. One by one we'll see. Path goal theory. Path goal theory, look at the picture here. There is a self-explanatory. The leader would be guiding the players, helping the players to achieve the goal. Leader adopt their behavior to help the team members to achieve the goal. First stage is that clarifying the path successfully. Second is removal of the obstacles. The third one, providing support. In other side, the multi-dimensional model of a leadership. You can see the multi-dimensional model of leadership, which is having a three important phenomena called as a required behavior, preferred behavior, and actual behavior. Look at this zone: required behavior, actual behavior, and preferred behavior. These three behavior has to be aligned in same line. Then only the athlete can able to perform well. The team can able to succeed. Okay, so this is proposed by developed by author called as Chelladurai. Okay, so there's again a three important factor: required behavior, preferred behavior, and actual behavior has to be aligned in the proper zone. Then only the team can enjoy the victory. Now coming into the building a cohesion into team, a team that could be of misunderstandings will be there. We'll have to develop a cohesions. Okay, there are two type of cohesions are there: task cohesion as well as social cohesions. Okay, what is a task cohesion? The team shared commitment to achieving the common goals. Okay, we'll have to win. Okay, we'll have to achieve this. We can say that in relay running, 400-meter relay running, all the four members will have to run in a fastest pace to achieve the goal. Okay, so there is task cohesion. In a social cohesion is that the quality of an interpersonal relationship among the team members. Like we can say, the football team members enjoying spending time together off the field. After the game, after the training session, they will enjoy the other part of the social life, isn't it? So basically the team member should have a task cohesion as well as social cohesion. This type of leadership styles applicable in all the environment, even working environment also. Now the methods to improve the cohesion. How to improve the cohesion? Okay, look at this picture in the sideways. Team building exercises. First of all, a good team we will have to build. Okay, selection of members. Activities to foster trust and collaborations. Example, outdoor adventure challenges and trust falling and all will have to team building exercises. They will have to analyze the strength and weaknesses of each members and accordingly will have to build. Second, communication strategies. We will have to have a clear, respectful, open communication to avoid misunderstanding between the team members. And shared goals as well as the values. Okay, like we can say establishing a unified purpose. The particular goal we will have to explain and we will have to try to achieve it. Example, a volleyball team creating a vision statement for the seasons. This is what building a cohesion. Next is conflict resolutions. Conflict resolutions, we can say there are four different type of conflicts commonly the player can able to face. One is the interpersonal conflict. Second is a role conflict. Third is a goal conflict. The fourth one would be of a resource conflict. The interpersonal conflict, if you say that a disagreement between team members due to personality clashes, among them there will be a misunderstanding. Okay, example, a senior player under evaluating a junior teammate's contribution, he will not give opportunity. This is what called as a interpersonal conflicts. And second is a role conflict, confusion or dispute over the roles within the team. Whether I'll be going in your first down, one down, or second down, third down in a cricket team. Okay, so that we'll have to determine it. The captain will have to determine it. Some captain may modify the arrangements. Okay, this is what the role conflicts. The goal conflicts, if you say disagreement on objects or strategies. Some players say that prioritizing the personal, they will say that in order to get 100 runs, they will go for a single counts. Okay, this is what a personal development. They will be more focused on a personal development rather than the team outcomes. The last one would be of a resource conflicts. Resource conflicts, if you say competitions over limited resources like a training time or equipment availability, etc. Example, dispute over access to the best gym slots or accessing the equipments for the training purpose. So these are the four different type of conflicts any player may come across. Now coming into module 5, psychological skill training. Okay, we'll have to train the mind here. Okay, this module emphasizes the development of a psychological skills to optimize the athletic performance. Okay, the importance of a psychological skill training of an athlete, which enhances the performance. Performance will be enhanced. Okay, and which is boosting the confidence, which is improving the consistency, which is facilitating the recovery. So any athlete will have to come across psychological skill training in order to perform very well. Techniques for the mental skill development. There are 5 techniques for mental skill development. First, we'll see imagery techniques and visualization. Second is focus and concentration, self-talk, goal setting, and relaxation. One by one, we'll discuss here. First is imagery and visualization technique. What it is? Using a whole sense to create a mental image of a successful performance. We will have to image the victory. Example, visualization of a perfect jump shot in a basketball. Look at the picture. The player will have to imagine how he is going to perform. Okay, visualizing a perfect jump shot in a basketball. Applications where we can apply it. It is applied in a skill training. It is applied in a stress management. It is applied in injury recovery. Okay, in order to develop a particular skill, if I'm lacking particular skill, I will have to imagine that how my competent player are playing, how he is playing. I will have to imagine in his place. I will have to keep and I will have to perform it mentally. Okay, that is what skill learning. Second is a stress management, visualizing the calmness before a race. I'll be mentally peace before starting any pressurized environment. Okay, and then during injury recovery, by the time I will have to imagine the victory and I will have to work. So all these imagery techniques or visualization method, we can able to apply this technique in order to get a betterments. Second is that focus and concentration enhancement strategies. Again, centering. Okay, centering means nothing but simple breathing exercises. We'll have to do it, and we'll have to concentrate, and we'll have to focus on the particular task. Example, we can say that centering technique, bringing attention to the present moment using a physical as well as a mental anchors. Okay, deep breathing. Okay, if I'm going to play a very difficult circumstances or the game, the particular moment, I'll have to take a deep breath and imagine visualizations how we are going to tackle it. Okay, that is what called as a centering. Okay, the second is that the performance routines. You must have seen a tennis player before serving. They will tap the ball 3 times, 5 times in a ground, and after that they'll go for the serve. This is a routine manner, routine behavior. This is what called as a performance routine. Okay, so both things are, it is inevitable, and most of the athletes are using it. Okay, so this is basically helps in avoiding the common distractions. Either it may be of the internal distraction as well as external distraction. Internal distraction, if you say negative thoughts. If I'm having a negative thought with deep thinking and all, deep breathing as well as thinking, that is what called a centering, and the performance routines, it may be nullified. Then external factors like a crowd noise and opponent behaviors and all, we can able to avoid with centering as well as performance routines. Next is self-talk. Self-talk, if you say that I'll be going for a positive talk. Look at here, Muhammad Ali pictures given here. Always he'll be saying that I am the greatest. Nobody can defeat me. Okay, that is what a positive self-talk. Okay, so we will have to, as much as possible, we will have to stick into it. Positive self-talk always boosting the confidence as well as motivations. Okay, the negative self-talk, we said it will be harming and focusing, affecting the performances. Okay, example, I always mess up in this situation. Look at the second picture. Wrong gestures. Okay, we should not always go for this. So it is actually deteriorating the performance of a athletic population. Now, strategies to improvise self-talk. How we can able to improvise the performance with the help of a self-talk. Identify and challenge the negative thought and replace the affirmations and the motivational phrases. And we will have to use the appropriate keywords like just focus, relax, you can do it. This is what called as self-talk. With the self-talk, we can able to train, or the athlete can able to perform very well. Next one, developing the psychological skill training programs. Okay, so this is basically, if you see that, we'll have to assess the athlete's needs. What is the requirement? We will have to assess properly, and we will have to set up the goal and select the technique and implement the program. Assessing the athletic needs, with it we can able to identify the specific problem of athletes need, where is lacking, that we can able to identify, and accordingly we can set up the goals, establish a clear objective for the psychological skill training programs, okay, to improve the focus training during the game. Third one would be of the selected techniques we can utilize it. For example, choose appropriate mental skills, imagery techniques, focus drills based on the athletic needs. Which imagery technique you will have to, which technique you will have to recall and practice. The fourth one would be of implementing the program. Schedule regular practice sessions integrating PST techniques into a training routine. So this four technique developing the athletic skills in an appropriate manner, right? This is what already we have discussed about that, simulating the practice on imagery, focus drills, and self-talk exercises. Now coming into module 6. Module 6 we can say, which is actually special topic in sports psychology. This module addresses the advanced topics like psychological aspect of injury and rehabilitation, burnout preventions. Burnout is a big problem of an athletic player during the training. Okay, the third one, psychological assessment tools, and the fourth one, cultural and gender considerations in sport. Okay, psychological impact on sports injuries, how it is impacting, which is affecting the emotional factors, and behavioral changes would be there, cognitive effect would be there. Okay, emotional responses, if you say shock and denial, initially if a person is injured, like if a person is injured, if athlete is injured, definitely you cannot believe that he is injured. There is what shock as well as denial. Initially disbelief about the injury. Second, you will develop anger. After the injury, you will develop anger and frustration over disturb, because you must have seen on field many athletes after injury they will get show their frustrations, and after that they will be depressed. After some period, depression and anxiety arises. Whether he will be recovering completely 100%, whether he can able to participate in game or not, the big question comes. Because of that big doubt, he may develop a depression as well as anxiety, and that may leads to behavioral changes. Okay, that is leads to behavioral changes. There is nothing but isolation from the teammates, okay, which is reducing the motivation, okay, and which is having a cognitive impact also, that may leads to negative self-talk. You will always will say that definitely I cannot come back, the injury is bothering me much, I cannot play well, and overthinking the potential re-injury. Okay, these are the problems of a psychological impact after the injury. If any player injured, this many problems may happen. We will have to overcome the problems, right? Now, coping mechanism, how to overcome the problem, coping mechanism and supportive system. Coping mechanism, if you see, there are the three important area: problem focused coping, emotional focused coping, avoidance of a coping. Okay, the problem faced coping, if you say that actively engage in rehabilitation and seeking solutions, particular problem we will have to address it. Emotion focused coping would be using relaxation technique or seeking emotional support, psychological counseling and all, we will have to do it. Avoiding coping is very less effective, we can say. Ignoring the injury or avoiding the treatment is called as avoiding coping. That we should not always work, basically. Now coming into second part, very important part, supportive system. Who will support the athlete after the injury? Family members as well as coaches will have to take a due care of the athlete, and they will have to concentrate their health and will have to motivate them. Okay, and the second thing, physiotherapist as well as a psychologist. Physiotherapist would be working physically with the player and will be improving the performance. Psychologist will be motivating the players and improving the performance. This is called as a supporting system. There is a two coping mechanism. One is the problem focused coping, emotional focused coping, and avoidance of coping. And other side, support system includes family, coaches, physiotherapist, as well as psychologist. The role of a physiotherapist in psychological recovery. What is our role actually? We will have to build up a rapport, and we'll have to provide education about the injury as well as weaning from the injuries, and the motivation to the particular athlete, and monitoring the psychological well-being. Okay, so all the four factors we will have to do it as a physical therapist. It's a very vast area. Because of the time factor, I'm cut shortening it. Recognizing the symptoms of a burnout. Now coming into second point, burnout. Okay, recognizing the symptoms of the burnout in athlete. What are the symptoms would be there? One is physical symptom. Physical symptoms including chronic fatigue, persistent muscle soreness, and increased risk of injury. All this comes under physical fitness. If any symptoms are present in the athletes, we'll have to understand that is having a burnout symptoms. Second is psychological symptoms includes loss of interest in training or competition. You will not come for regular practice sessions, okay? And then you'll be irritability, anxiety, and depressions will be there. The third one would be of a behavioral symptom. Behavioral symptoms, if you say that skipping the training sessions or reduced effort during practice, the poor performance consistently you will be delivering it despite of the constant effort. Okay, so three important symptoms, classified symptoms. If it is there, we can understand that the athlete is having burnout symptoms. Next is preventive strategies for burnout as well as overtraining. We will have to have the four important areas here. One is balanced training plans. We'll have to balance the training plans, which incorporates rest days. Okay, so in a particular 7 days, we'll have to give at least 2 rest periods so that we can manage the burnout problem and overtraining problems. Balanced training plans. Second is regular monitoring. We will have to monitor the progress of the athlete regularly. Appropriate scientific tools, we will have to use it. The third one, open communication with the athletic population, which encourages the athlete to share the concern about the fatigue as well as the stress, what type of stress they are feeling. The last one, psychological skill training programs. If necessary, appropriate psychological skill training program, already what we have discussed, that we will have to use it. There are commonly available tools to evaluate the used in sports psychology, we can say. One is a SCAT, second is a CSI2, the third one, POMS. Number of tools are available. These are very important. I felt very important and I have narrated here. Okay. So SCAT, basically, it is measuring the anxiety level in competitive situations. Applications, if you see, it identify the athletic performance well if he is in anxiety, allowing for the target interventions and all. During that period, we can use a SCAT. Second is the CSI. CSI, it is denoting competitive state anxiety inventory 2. Competitive state anxiety inventory 2. Basically, this also assessing the anxiety level, but at the different zones, different circumstances. Assess the cognitive anxiety, somatic anxiety, and self-confidence before the competitions. The applications, if you see, it is helping the coaches and psychologists to understand the pre-competition mental status. Pre-competition mental status of a players we can able to analyze. With this clicking this appropriate links, we can able to land up with the particular tools which is having readily available. Simply we'll have to give you a feed, and at last it gives the count. Whatever the scores are coming with, we'll have to compare it with the normative values. Okay, just you browse it, Google it, you will get the links actually. Last one would be POMS, profile of a mood state. Okay, POMS basically measures the mood fluctuations of a player and emotional status of the player, and it can be compared with the normative data. Applications, if you see, identify the signs of burnout as well as emotional distress in athletes. The postgraduate guides and researchers, definitely you can incorporate any of these tools in your research, and the reliability and validity of tools are very good. Next one, how to address the diversity in sports team. There are cultural diversity and then inclusive environment and language barrier. Three important factors are here. Cultural sensitivity, we can say cultural sensitivity, cultural diversity. We need to understand the cultural differences in the communications values, because if you take a team, different cultured people should be there in a team. Okay, so we will have to adopt, the players will have to adopt with each other. Example, some culture emphasizes team success over the individual achievement. Second one would be of an inclusive environment, which is promoting the mutual respect as well as understanding among the team members from diverse background. Third one would be of a language barriers. Okay, language barrier, how to overcome the language barrier? We can use the appropriate devices as of today, mobile devices and visual aids necessary to ensure the clear communication between the team members. Okay, and another thing, there are gender-specific challenges in sports psychology. Challenges faced by female athletes, challenges faced by male athletes. What are the challenges faced by female athletes? Under a female athlete title, already we have discussed along with my students, the PG students, but that we'll have to remember here. Okay, so balancing athletic commitments with the societal as well as familial expectations, and addressing the issues like body image, mental health of the female, and unequal access to the resources that we'll have to consider in case of female athletes. In case of male athlete, what problem male athlete would be facing? Pressure to adhere to stereotype of a masculinity, such as suppressing the emotion. People will say that you are a male, you should not cry. Where the gender plays in crying, this is what the masculinity determines the outcome here. The increased risk of underreporting mental health concerns in the male athletes. This is very predominant in male athletes. Both will have to overcome with the strategies. How to? What strategy we can do it? Strategy to address gender specific challenges. We will have to foster an environment, clear environment we'll have to create it, where athletes feel comfortable discussing the sensitive issues. Provide resources as well as support a tailor-made program for the athletic population to wean out of this problems, troubles, challenges. All right. So this was the comprehensive summary. Today I have summarized, I have explained within 1.5 hours about the sports psychology. I have divided the sports psychology into 6 modules. The introductory module, second is motivation and goal setting. Third one is stress, anxiety and performance. The fourth is the team dynamic and leadership. The fifth is the psychological skill training. The last one, special topic in sports psychology. Okay. So it's a comprehensive statement. And these are the references, a number of books I have used, which is used precisely, we can say. For example, I'll tell you, Foundation of Sports and Exercise Psychology, Human Kinetics, and particular zones I use, comprehensive textbook covering the psychological principles in sports. Psychological principles I have adapted from this resource, like that. Number of 3 books I have referred here, and this many research article I referred for this class, and this many the website quotations, notations I have taken, and this many assessment tools I have used for this particular class. If you have any doubts, you can clarify.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation and then knowledge sharing to the participants. We have got our principal sir also, Dr. Manoj Kumar sir. Sir, any comments and suggestions?
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you are not audible.
Unmute, sir.
Thank you very much. Now, am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much for accepting our invitations right away and giving such a beautiful knowledge, thought, and capsules of ideas, in fact, which the student, if they digest, I am very sure it will make them not only apt in psychological testing and training of sports person, but they can utilize in other areas too. So I was very much thrilled when I went through all the presentations, all the thought that you have shared with the students. Though I was not there initially, but when I caught up, and since you have made a good summary, I have had the full idea of what you wanted to say, and I'm thrilled, and thank you very much. It was a very nice presentation, nice talk, nice lecture, nice capsule, I would say, to the students and to us also. Thank you very much. See you sometime.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the participants? We've got only few seconds. If not, you can contact him anytime, sir. He is always available to help us. So thank you, sir, for your time and valuable knowledge sharing with our students of various colleges. Thank you, sir, once again. Thank you.
Sir, I'm audible?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you so much for the opportunity. Once again, Manoj Kumar sir and Bala sir, because I'm very happy to share knowledge with the students community because I love teaching and I hello, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir. Audible. Thank you, sir.
I think I'm having network. I think, sir. I know. I don't know. Hello.
You are here only, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. I
Thank
think I'm
you.
having some network problem. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Manoj, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Any
sir.
doubts? Any doubt from our audience?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts from
Audible.
our students? You can clarify your doubt.
Thank you, sir.